Assalamu alaikum and welcome to our YouTube channel. You're watching the Sizzle review with Sabah
and Izza. We are two US-based friends who love Pakistani dramas and we love to review them for you. Please comment, like, and subscribe to our channel, The Sizzle Review, and please follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and on Facebook. Today we are going to review Sangema episode 23. So it's about 22 ended with the whole jirga scene.
Right.
And now we see that resolve.
Right. So it ended with Haji's wife coming.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So we know, so Mastan kind of let Hillman down
Yes,
by,
he did.
by telling the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yes, definitely.
And so now Hillman sees his mom. He runs to her and says, mommy, like a little boy.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what? Your husband killed my dad.
Mm-hmm.
And then, first he kisses her, which I thought was tender.
I thought that was a nice scene between both of them.
Yeah. And did she look like her mom there?
His
mom?
I'm noticing that there's multiple dramas, and I'm gonna post this, like, the age difference between. So it's, and we talked about this last week that Faisal Qureshi had made a statement about Sabah Kamar,
right.
But we never see these statements about the reverse part. So she did not, to answer your question, she did not look like his mom.
Yeah. She looked
and
young.
Then I googled their ages. So Samia Mumtaz is 51 and Atif Aslam is 39.
Wow.
And I get she's an actor that she can play like an older role.
Well, her skin is flawless. There's like no wrinkles on her face.
She's beautiful.
She's very pretty. She looks very young.
Yeah.
Except for the white hair, which, it was just like a cosmetic thing.
Yeah, and more power to her for being okay with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I feel like, there's such a discrepancy. Like, the women always get like older roles than their actual age.
Yeah.
And men always get like younger age.
Yeah, I agree. And then that's in Hollywood, Bollywood, Lollywood.
Everywhere.
Yeah,
everywhere. Across the board.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's good that we can talk about it and we can address this. And hopefully we can see it reduced down the road. I feel like women should get the same opportunities and the same kind of roles at whatever age they are as their male counterparts are getting.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
Because the men are like 51-year-old, you see them playing the lead roles.
I know.
Not like a father to a 39-year-old.
Like Humayun Syed.
Yeah, would you? I was like literally would Humayun Syed play Atif Aslam's father at some point?
He wouldn't even dye his hair white. Or let his hair go.
Go white. Yeah, there you go. So, but Samia Mumtaz is awesome. We love her.
Yeah, she's awesome.
So let's talk about the whole dialogue that Hillman says when he gets like disappointed when Shah sends Mastan away and everybody's talking about Masa hal ho gaya.
Yeah, Mastan is free and Hillman forgave Mastan.
Yes. So I love these dialogues and I wrote them down. He says, "मैं खामोश नहीं मदहोश हूँ, अपनी मदहोशी में माफी का ऐलान कर बैठा." And he said, "गरम गरम हलवा मुंह में डाल बैठा, मुंह जला बैठा, जल्दबाजी शैतान का काम है." And जल्दबाजी ने सारी बाजी पलट दी. And that's exactly what happened with him.
Yeah.
Because in his head he had won. And since before, since the whole scene with Haji in the previous episode, he has been gloating.
So he was very arrogant.
Exactly. And that was his downfall. We know arrogance, it doesn't get you anywhere.
No.
Yes.
And now he resents it. He regrets it.
He regrets it.
Because he in his mind, he thought he'd won. Like, and he was planning every detail. He had, all his ducks in a row, and he thought his plan was flawless. Nothing can go wrong. And, but Allah had other plans.
Yes. And not only did his plan go wrong, his mother's confession and what she said, it was like literally a big blow. Big blow to him. Yes.
Yeah, he could not have imagined that in his mind he hated Haji so much that it was his mom that did it.
Yes. And for her to, and on top of that, she says, मैं हाजी तुम पे 10 नसरुल्लाह और 10 हिलमन कुर्बान कर दूंगी. Oh my, I like literally yelled when she said that.
So let's talk about their love story.
Oh, yes.
So to me, this whole drama was about their love story. Haji and Zarsunga's
and what a love story, yes.
And it wasn't that young couple lost ek dafa dekh liya love story. This was a deeper connection. It was on a different level, between a husband and wife that has been married, you know.
For as long as they have been married, have
Right.
adult grown kids, and they still are so protective of each other, so loving to each other. I think it's an amazing. I think this has been. I would say, like to my like recollection, I don't remember
No,
a
I
similar
don't.
love story in Pakistani dramas.
I agree. Except for maybe Rakib Say when he was in love with the
With
Hadika.
He was- yeah,
Sakina.
Sakina. But you know, was he in love with Sakina in the end?
Okay, well let's talk
Yeah.
about that's another drama. But
We'll discuss it in a different episode.
there's Namana Jaws too.
It was the one. It doesn't.
But,
I
you know-
get that was a love story, but I felt like this was more deep. If that makes sense.
This is more deep. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, so, you know, in the Quran it says, nikah makes you stronger, and also you are your husband, you're supposed to protect your spouse, and you are like, your
Libasan.
libasan.
Libasan, that's
So
what it
that
said.
means you're supposed to cover their faults.
Yes.
And here they are, covering each other's faults, you know, sacrificing themselves. And that's unconditional.
That's unconditional love.
You know,
yes.
unconditional, pure, deep kind of love
Yes.
that they had for each other.
Yes. I absolutely love this love story. This
Yeah.
mature. It's
Calls him her Janan.
yes. It's
You know.
layered. It's mature love story. It's
Yeah.
very meaningful. I feel like
Deeper.
it's
Very
it's-
deep.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, they always are protecting each other. They're always looking out for each other. That's the kind of relationship anyone should aspire for. I mean, not the
And
killing
the
them is so the point.
caring. He didn't want her to worry, so he put her to sleep, you know, and he wanted her to be happy and content and peaceful at all times.
I agree.
You know, and that's what you want. Really, at the end of the day, that's what you want to feel. You know, so have someone else, you know, put you in that pedestal.
Yes.
Just, you know, care for you
Care
at
for
the end, at the end of the day. So I just, you know, I just love this whole thing about
Same.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, same.
So then let's talk about the two sisters.
Yes, there was a very nice scene between Zerhuna and Zarsanga.
Yeah.
And they talk about the sisters, and she talks about excellent acting from both the actors. I feel like it was a very, it was a subtle scene, but you know, you can see,
It was a tender,
yeah, you can
heartwarming.
see all expressions registering on both of their
Both
faces.
both the actresses, Sanya Saeed and Samia Mumtaz, were so good.
And they were amazing in this
Yeah.
scene. Yeah.
I mean, the way she held her hand and the way she looked at her in her eye, you know, they were sitting down and looking at each other, and I just thought it was such a tender moment because, you know, they had their rift.
Yes.
They had their sibling, you know, whatever, jealousy or
Yeah.
rivalry,
Yeah.
but they put that all in the past. And she even says that, you know, how come you didn't taunt me? I thought you were going to say, pehle tumhare, you know, pehle baap ne gag kiya, ab bete ne gag kiya. Why didn't you throw that in my face? And she says, what did she say?
She says, तुम्हारी और मेरी बहनों वाली खार थी, हमारी दुश्मनी कभी नहीं थी, which I thought was such a deep kind of and true dialogue, the way it conveyed. And that's what happens with siblings. You can be at each other's throat, but you still at a deeper level love each other. And you are there when you need to be there for your sibling.
Right.
And I think that whole scene, I felt like, because we have seen Zarhuna and Zarsanga being at each other's throat, and they're like kind of, you know, not at good terms for most of the
Right.
drama, I would say.
Right. But at the but you always saw Sarguna care for like Hikmat and Hilman.
Yes.
You know how you love your nephews. She had a soft spot for them.
Definitely, definitely.
And she even says, look, I'm not your enemy.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not ever going to forget all your favors and all your deeds that you
Yes.
did for me in the past.
Yes.
And then she says, we both are the same. We love intensely and we don't fall easily.
Awesome.
Yeah. They're
Strong women,
Two
yeah.
strong women.
Two
I
strong
like
women.
that.
I like that too.
I just love Zarguna's character. I thought she was the best character. I loved her character in the whole story.
I do agree. I
Yeah.
do agree. She, it's an awesome character, like written character, and then the way
Written.
it's portrayed,
And she did a great. She did justice to her character.
She definitely did justice to the character.
Yeah. So let's talk about Sherazad and Haji's scene.
Yes.
So he tells her, you know, that I fell in love with her and I called her Janan, but she put a gun to my chest, because she was like angry when I told her I loved her. But he says I was ready to die. मैं बिस्मिल्लाह कहने वाला था, कलमा पढ़ने वाला था, and I was about to die for her. Just think how deep our love was, because I was ready to die for her at that moment. But then she saw my eyes and she knew that I was sincere.
Yeah.
And then he's like, "Mera pagal mamu mujhe hunting le gaya."
So we see a little bit of history, what happened, where Haji was when the Gug happened. So I think this scene was significant.
Yeah.
Because we see a part of the history as to what was going on.
Because I always wondered, where was Haji when there was a Gug?
Yeah, so this answers that question.
Yeah, that answer resolves it, because he went hunting with his uncle.
Yeah.
And for 3 months.
Yeah.
And when they came back, that she had already been married.
Yes. And then he also talks about when Sherzad asks him, okay, you didn't murder, but you were ready to take the responsibility. So he answers that question too. He does feel responsible.
Yes.
He does.
He's so honest.
Yeah, he was like, I did provide the poison. So I do feel on some level responsible for his death. Unlike who, Sabah? Mastan Singh.
Yeah. Mastan Singh.
He basically slashed 2 stomachs and is all.
And Harshali didn't even think anything of it.
Yeah.
Like, she's ready to marry him. Yeah. I'm like, after the second one, I'd be like, hello, this is like, you're carrying that sword around. Mere se kuch ho jayega, you're gonna stab me in the stomach?
He needs like a safe to check in.
So that to me was unreal. Like, even though she was in love with him, she waited 20 years. But for him to do it to somebody else again, without even thinking about Harshali and what it would do to her.
Yes.
Suppose that in the Jirga they didn't find him innocent. Like, he would have been in whatever. They would have killed him.
Yes.
And then where would have that left Harshali? But then let's talk about the wedding scene.
Finally, this wedding happens.
Yeah.
Like the Jirga scene and Mastan's wedding. 2 things have been building up since episode 1, and then we finally see them happening. So finally this wedding takes place, and what happens?
And वो अपना उसका घूंघट उठाता है, and the first thing she's like, what happened to the Jirga? I thought that was cute.
So he goes over it. He tells her that you don't ever tell me not to lie.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, and that's what he says in the beginning too. उसमें Jirga scene में भी वो कहता है कि मैं गुरुजी का खालसा हूँ, मैं खालिस हूँ. I'm pure. I'm not going to lie.
And I love that they did that.
Yeah.
Because they showed a Sikh, true to his word. He's a religious guy. He's not going to lie.
Yeah.
So I'm glad they didn't make him lie.
I completely agree.
Right?
Yeah. They showed him as a stand-up guy.
Right. Which gave him respect.
Which I appreciate.
To the Sikh community.
Yes. So then we see a twist in the drama, Sabah. So we see Mashallah Khan.
Yeah, that's Hillman's grandfather.
Yes.
Dada.
I did not see that coming till the end of the scene. जब उसने कहा कि मेरा एक नसरुल्लाह ही अच्छा बेटा था. And Mashallah Khan was named wrong because he is not.
Mashallah.
Mashallah, he's not.
He's a really bad person.
Yes.
Like, he's making that kid, like, he's like, kick him in the kidneys.
Yeah, Jua killta hai, and he does the whole scene because he wants that bird. Just Jua killta, he wanted to take that bird from that kid.
He's an angry, bitter man. They showed him as a very deceitful, angry, bitter man.
Exactly. And if you see, and I think this is a reflection of how Nasrullah, we'll learn about Nasrullah, how he is going to be as well. Because uska bhai bhi, Nasrullah's brother, was very mean, and we see that he is trying to take money from his father. Remember? बाप कहता है कि इतना है और तुमने गलत हिसाब किया है. And then he's like, oh, वो तो दूसरी book में था, and the father is like, bring the money back.
We called this. Remember we said there was more to the story, that bet you Hillman's dad was a nasty guy.
And you've been calling out Zarsanga being responsible for the death of Nasrullah since episode 2, I would say.
Well, because the way she reacted in the beginning about the gug.
Exactly.
She's like, kuttam ko khila do, when Sabzali did the gug.
Yeah.
He's like, usko kuttam ko bhej do. So I was like, she took it very personally.
Definitely.
So she, something happened with her.
Yes. So we see the teaser then. What happens in the teaser?
So Hillman goes to Mashallah.
Oh God, Hillman, you need to give it a rest now.
So that was disappointing. He wants more information from Mashallah. So you know what? So Hillman is not. His revenge is still overtaking him.
Yes, and then we see Mashallah coming to Haji's house.
Yeah. So I don't have any. Like पहले Hillman से था, अब नहीं है मेरे से. He seems like he's not a good character for me. Do you know what I mean? He's very broken, but he's he's just so relentless,
Yeah, he is relentless.
right? And I wanted to see more tender scenes with Sherazad.
Yeah, no. He's not relentless there.
Yeah, there was a scene with her, right?
I think usme hai.
When they're sitting by the fire.
Yeah, that's the next.
Oh, that was a teaser.
That's a teaser. Yeah,
Yeah.
Usme
So
she
chalo.
says his words back to him.
Yeah. And he's sitting in the woods by himself with the. Where did the fire come from all of a sudden? He didn't have any matches on him. So and then he's
it's
talking
the
to himself.
It's the same place where the gel and
Yeah.
the comes from to iron all his clothes.
So he's like talking to himself and feeling sorry for himself
Yeah.
and being his typical Helmand.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So this wraps up our episode of Sangema.
Mhm.
Thank you so much for joining us. Please comment, like, and subscribe to our channel. This is Isa.
And this is Sabah signing off.